What compelled the examination of his 11-year-old emails?
John, you want to start or you want me to?
It dates back to the whole Washington football team, Redskins thing.
They were under investigation, and Jon Gruden was involved with some communication with former Washington general manager Bruce Allen.
I wonder if that's George Allen's kid.
It is George Allen's kid, yes.
They're good friends?
Yes.
They were good friends, and they had worked together in Tampa Bay. When Gruden coached in Tampa Bay, Allen, I believe, was GM or something of that sort.
And 11 years ago, this was when Gruden was not in football. He was doing television
Monday
for
Night
Monday Night
Football,
Football.
right?
Yep.
And Corona commercials and everything else you can think of. He was had very high celebrity status.
And then he left that to sign a $100 million contract to run the now Las Vegas Raiders.
But what was being attempted to be discovered about the Washington situation? Was that when they were being charged with sexual harassment in the workplace and things like that?
Yes. Yeah, and hiring out the cheerleaders, that sort of thing.
Well, what did Gruden have to do with that? Was he saying to Allen, I think this is a bunch of BS, things like that you're being examined for this?
Some of that, but he also had some, what's the word I want, John? Comments about players and personnel and the league's commissioner.
That would involve, you'd call them homophobic slurs, I believe. Also, some misogynistic things that perhaps they should. I mean, they were trading pictures of women with no tops, that sort of thing.
Jason Whitlock, who is a black writer, he believes that Gruden violated the 7 sins of wokeism, and that's he broke 7 of the woke religion's 10 commandments. His damnation to unemployment and disgrace was inevitable. I can't suggest that Jason is necessarily... Well, he is. He's defending Gruden. He said he's a high-profile symbol of the consequences of disobedience to the woke.
I usually like what Jason writes,
but I can't agree with that.
I'm with John. I can't go there with Jason.
I'm not suggesting I agree. I'm just saying what this fellow wrote.
Mm-hmm. According to Jason, then, he could have sent any kind of email and used anything he wanted, including racial slurs if he wanted, and Jason would say that's fine.
Here's, I guess, the lesson to be learned. So whether it's the story of Urban Meyer, was that last week, 2 weeks ago, or Jon Gruden, what these guys are finally realizing is that the good old boys club that we enjoyed for so many years can't fly anymore in the age of instant information, the internet, social media, things like that. This kind of stuff isn't going to fly anymore.
Well, here's the review of the 7 woke commandments, according to Jason Whitlock, that Gruden violated. Number 1, thou shalt not disparage Barack Obama. The New York Times revealed that Gruden criticized Obama during his 2012 re-election campaign. This is an explosive revelation. A U.S. citizen criticized a presidential candidate.
But that's not why he had to resign. That had nothing to do with it. You could have thrown that out, and that would have had nothing to do with it.
Number 2, thou shalt not push back against the Big Lips Matter movement. Big Lips Matter is the DeMaurice Smith faction of the Black Lives Matter movement. Only Jason Whitlock could have gotten away with writing this. I would not have written that.
Hoo-wee, I can't believe what I just heard.
Many white women, particularly Instagram models and the actress Angelina Jolie, passionately support Big Lips Matter.
Stop saying that.
Well, again, I don't think... thou shalt not question the hiring practices based on sexual and gender identity. Gruden apparently was displeased that there was a fast track to get female referees in the NFL.
Correct, yeah.
He frowned upon that. Thou shalt not disagree with Eric Reed, a prominent fellow who wouldn't stand for the anthem. He says, thou shalt not look fondly upon bare-breasted pictures of women that male friends exchange. Well, I personally don't do those, but I guess...
right.
Thou shalt not speak honestly about Joe Biden. Gruden called Biden a nervous, clueless word.
Bad word, yep.
Seems a bit harsh. President Whitlock gets a good line here. President Biden never seems nervous to me. He seems sedated. Thou shalt not defend football. Gruden complained that Goodell's safety policies were an overreaction and made mothers fear allowing their sons to play football. The hypocrisy of the people cheering Gruden's cancellation is breathtaking. These same people were quiet when actor Michael Rappaport aired out NBA star Kevin Durant's homophobic, profane, misogynistic, and threatened direct messages. I'm consistent on all this stuff. Durant and Gruden have a right to privacy and the right to express opinions polite society finds abhorrent. Durant apologized. The NBA fined him $50,000 and everybody moved on. That's what should have happened to Gruden. But Gruden is white and held to a much higher standard of accountability. This is racist. The woke religion allows for and promotes racism. It also loves double standards. The NFL recently announced that rappers Dr. Dre, Snoop Dogg, and Eminem will star in the halftime show.
Here we go.
He says
Finally.
Gruden's emails make their lyrics look like something written for a church bulletin.
That's actually pretty accurate.
I was waiting till amazing.
Gruden actually resigned, though.
Right.
So that last sentence of his, he wasn't forced out.
Right.
He may have been eventually forced out, but
John,
he went. He went to the Raiders.
Does that mean he loses out the rest of his contract?
I'm assuming so, doesn't he?
I don't.
He
think
went to the Raiders last night.
I don't think he would have resigned without some contractual agreement.
Well, maybe they'll pay him.
You don't really believe that he went to the Raiders on his own volition? That somebody within the organization,
you know what
with
I
the
think, Kenny?
NFL,
Oh, I'm sure it's somebody
didn't call
said,
him and
"You
say
maybe should resign."
Yeah,
I also
sure.
think that Gruden's not dumb. Well, I guess parts of him are dumb for writing this in the first place. But Gruden also realizes that if I want any hope of retaining any type of employment, in the near future, I have to save face in some regard. Don't you think?
I got to tell you, I'm somewhat uncomfortable with the fact that we're coming across as defending Jon Gruden. I don't see how you do that.
I don't think we are.
I'm reading a Jason Whitlock piece, and I do for two reasons. One, Whitlock is black, and two, he's very talented. He also writes, the NFL's lack of self-awareness is stunning. Roger Goodell is the worst commissioner.
I wouldn't argue with that.
The worst commissioner in the history of professional sports. The NFL has no guiding principles and no moral compass. It's led by the woke cult and social media. If you remove the crass words and interpret the message, that's what Jon Gruden was really complaining about in his emails. The NFL's lack of leadership and direction. It will be interesting to see if Gruden bends his knee and converts to the woke religion. Will he join the other closeted men in modern America? That closet is filled with millions of heterosexual Christian men who now live in shame of their values and beliefs because the alphabet mafia will damn them all to hell. Well, it's Whitlock. I just thought I'd bring it up.
Those Christian men, do they all speak like that?
No.
Did you read the transcripts?
I did not.
I did.
I did not.
I did.
Yeah,
I
well...
didn't.
Yeah, I'm having a little problem with Jason, I normally do.
And
so.
I'm with John. I really like Whitlock. I think he's a talented guy. I don't agree with him on this one.
All right.
But some of the points he makes are valid. But
Sure.
again,
It's certainly about the league.
Yes, but at the core of this, Gruden really screwed up.
Here's the answer to my question. The emails were discovered in a workplace misconduct investigation into the Washington football team, but ended up costing Gruden his job when they also showed Gruden denouncing the drafting of a gay player and the tolerance of players protesting during the playing of the national anthem, among other issues. All right.
I can't mention the number of times today I've seen on Twitter they were right, and it has Kaepernick and Eric Reed and everybody kneeling.
Yeah.
The insinuation being, the league, blackballed him, etc. Did you see the Keyshawn Johnson reaction today?
What insight did he
Keyshawn,
provide?
of course, played for Jon Gruden, and Keyshawn said, Jon Gruden's always been a fraud to me. Remember, they never got along great when he played for him. So Jon Gruden's always been a fraud to me. From day one, he's been a used car salesman. Everybody bought it.
Didn't he win a Super Bowl at Tampa?
I think so.
Yes. Gruden?